Welcome to the Own Your Best Life podcast. I'm May Emson, your host, leadership and mindset coach. Here, we talk all things spiritual, mindset, business, leadership, and wellness for the modern seeker who wants to align their life with purpose and inspiration. We'll cover career changes, stress management, meditation, energy, intuition, and more. Each episode holds spiritual and practical tools to help you live a life of your wildest dreams without getting burnt out along the way. Ready to live a life on your own terms? This is the Own Your Best Life podcast. Welcome, friends, to episode number 15, Finding Peace and Stillness Amidst the Chaos. So if you, like me, are starting to feel exhausted by the constant change, both personally and professionally, and you're starting to struggle to find this sacred peace and stillness amidst all the moving pieces, you're not alone. We are in a weird place right now where there's so much being uprooted in our lives, and whether you think it's all good or you think it's all bad, it isn't the point, and that's not the issue. It's how we relate to it, and that's what we're going to dive into today. So why do we need peace? Well, when you think about it, there's hardly any greater joy than peace of mind. And it's worth so much that when we don't have it, kind of like our health, we realize how much we want it and need it. In fact, we're willing to pay people for this peace of mind. We hire experts to help us navigate through life. We pay for the convenience of knowing things will be taken care of. And it's why we hire certain people or we buy certain brands. It's the sense of trust that gives us ease to relax and know that all is well. And we don't just want peace, we need it to make decisions that are free from fight or flight reactions. I am all for intuition, and I teach on intuition, but intuition is not devoid of objectivity, of using your best thinking. And when you use your prefrontal cortex and not the limbic system, which is where that fight or flight comes from, you are operating from a place of objectivity, of more rational thinking, less criticism in terms of judgment of good or bad, but pure strategic future long-term thinking. This is where we want to make most of our decisions from. And so this is why we need peace in order to make decisions that feel like they are really for our best and highest self, which also aligns with intuitive thinking and harnessing that sense of stillness. So peace comes in so many different forms. When you think of peace, it can be this relaxation in your body after being exhausted. It is the rest that you take. But peace can also be mental, when we know that everything's going to be okay and you have time enough for everything. And I've been thinking a lot about peace because I'm moving. If you've moved in your life, you know that moving can be one of life's most stressful events. When you add a global pandemic, work pressures, life just gets chaotic. But we as leaders know that our job is to find ease in any situation. So in this case, how do we find peace amidst the chaos? Amidst a full plate, amidst personal and professional things all getting shifted around, here are the practical ways, and I'm going to share them with you, ways that I found peace amidst chaos and specific of what works. So the first one is transitions. Focusing on transitions is key. Whether it's when you get up in the morning or go to bed at night, we have these two very big transitions in our day. And throughout the day, there are a number of countless other ones. From one activity to the next, we have the opportunity to pause. What do we want to experience in this next thing? How do we want to show up? What do we want to say? What do we want to do? How do we want to feel? And each of these moments are a time for us to realign our energy and bring it back to a place of vibration, of joy, of determination, peace, loving kindness, whatever it is that is invoking your best self. And the two transitions that I've paid the most attention to are, the first one is when I get up in the morning, and the second one is when I go to bed at night. And I take a moment to just sit on my meditation cushion, which is right next to my bed. This is a habit hack, make it obvious. And the first thing I do is I cycle through this feeling of healing energy running through my body. I send love to all parts of myself. I then think of things that I'm grateful for, very specific, small things. And I visualize what I want to bring into my life. In the evening, before I get in bed, I sit on my meditation cushion again and I ask myself, what do I need to do? What do I need to know? And in those moments, I let all the messages, intuitive hits, and direction come through. This is some of my best thinking. And as I've done this more and more, I've gotten more clear on the direction that I need to take, what's coming next, and how to proceed. These two practices have been life-changing, and as I look to what's next and how I harness this even more, what I know is coming is building this even more and more throughout all the moments of the day, before every activity, before every next thing, to help me consciously show up as the best, most true version of myself. I do these two practices every single day in terms of morning and evening, and that's how important they are. And I credit a lot of my ability to feel this insane amount of joy that is very markedly different than before I started doing these things, as well as my desire to keep working, even though it's tough sometimes, towards this vision of impacting people's lives. And this practice of intentional transitions is what keeps me going. The second big practice I do is finding peace in my body. Finding this peace has been such a big part of my process, and whether it's getting more sleep or exercising daily, this practice of moving and resting in cycles has kept me going even when I'm exhausted, even when I'm feeling challenged by the day's events, or overwhelmed by how much I need to figure out or what I need to do. And whether you realize it or not, your body is responding to all these emotional states. So understanding this flow and the way that your body works, you need to work, you need to rest. There's a cycle to every minute, hour, second, day, year. This is always constantly happening. And your body is responding to all these emotional states that you're having. It's releasing cortisol, dopamine, serotonin based on the thoughts, the feelings. And in doing so, it changes your internal physical state, whether you feel it through the tension in your neck, in your muscles, or a compromised immunity, or a boosted immunity. And I've spent a lot of time overriding my body, and I know that that takes a toll. And I may think in the moment that everything is fine, but I've realized that my body will tell me when it's not, and that it's not. This is why I exercise every day. When I do this practice of daily movement, it connects me and it allows me to focus on my physical health as much as I do on my mental health. So how much time are you or are we spending training both our minds and bodies every single day? If the answer is very little, you and I and we all know, then we have a huge opportunity to improve. We have a huge opportunity to see how your life and your ability to manage stress and chaos will only grow if you do train your mind and body consistently. Just like we have muscle memory to complete certain movements without thinking about it too much, when we let ourselves tie how our body feels to how our mind is thinking, this is when we become aware. This is when we're able to harness that mental, emotional, spiritual energy and connect it all to the physical. And this is when we move from thought to form and realize that form can also inform us on whether these mental states are serving us or not. So the second practice is around less is more. So how many times do we keep saying yes to things that we think will bring us closer to peace? And we realize that it actually doesn't. So this is the less is more philosophy. And I'm starting to embrace a more minimalist lifestyle because I see how more, in terms of stuff, doesn't always make us happy. And it often actually causes more stress, more cleaning, more storing, more money spent on figuring out what to do with all the stuff, more time spent on the acquiring and the disposing. I'm not saying I want to abandon joy and all material things completely, but I do want to seek a life that's filled with less stuff, but more focus on the things that are meaningful. And it's not easy to focus, but it's so worth it. If you think about, I had this 7-week trip a while back where Jay and I went, not backpacking, but we each had one carry-on and we were able to make it work. I'll do another episode sometime on minimalism because I'm heading in that direction. We were able to make it work. 7 weeks. And we even brought back a ton of stuff. Okay, it was summer, but the point is that it wasn't easy for me to figure out how to do with less. I actually had to be very intentional and think about what went into the suitcase. I had to say, okay, this carry-on could only fit this much. What do I want to bring? I don't want to bring more stuff. I need to make sure that I can do city things and country stuff and nature things. So this is the same as our life when we're thinking about this less is more. We have to be a lot more intentional and a lot more focused. It's easy to keep buying the stuff, to keep hitting that dopamine trigger and bringing more and more things in to help us feel complete, to help us feel worthy, to help us feel like life is exciting and new and different. But if we unhook ourselves from this drug of acquiring to help us feel good, what do we feel good with then? And then we realize maybe it's some other things in life. And so some of the things for me that I am filling my cup with more is, one, my faith in the world through my spiritual practices. My faith in the world is increased when I spend time connecting to my inner wisdom, none of which requires material goods. I also want to have better and deeper relationships with my family and friends. This is what I'm focusing on. This requires my presence and my time, but not my things. So in this pursuit of more, I actually need less stuff. But what I need more of is the discernment, the critical thinking, and the ideas of what it is I truly want. What do it take to be more me? What do I care about? What do I want? And these seem like simple things, but I will tell you that one of the number one questions I get when I coach is people just not always knowing what it is they even want. So how do I focus, and how do you focus on the things that matter the most and keep that front and center? So it's this focus on the fewer better things that truly matter. And when you have that kind of focus, life comes to match your desires with patience. All things start to arrive. And I've seen it time and time and again in my life when I've started to hone in specifically on what it is that I want. For example, when I moved to the town we were living in, I remember I had one word in mind. I was pregnant. We had another, little girl also. And the one word in mind was community. Community. I didn't know anyone. We didn't know anyone. We didn't know how we would meet people. But this was my focus. I knew I wanted a sense of community. I wanted to know people. I wanted to make friends. I wanted to connect with people. And when I had that kind of focus on community, it led to us signing our daughter up for preschool, and a preschool that was a co-op that encouraged not only parental involvement in the school itself, but more importantly, socialization among the parents. And all the friends that I've made and that we've made through this school are still some of the closest friends that we have. We've created a community of weekly get-togethers, spontaneous hangouts, informal gatherings, low pressure, but highly authentic connections, and a sense of trust in knowing that there are people who have got you, who will help, and who you help. This circulation of all the good things, and all these things light me up. And this is the power of focus. This is what happened when I was able to focus on it. I would see someone and think, maybe they'll be my friend, or maybe we'll connect. I know it sounds so cheesy, but honestly, your deepest desires and the truth of who you are comes from this place of that inner child that's seeking joy, that's seeking connection, that wants relationships, that wants to be fulfilled. And so do not dismiss sometimes what feels like a really basic, trivial, or very vulnerable feeling of desiring something that you don't have today, or desiring something that you want to bring into your life. So my question to you is, what do you want to focus on? What is your version of less? What do you want more of in your life right now? And as you think about your transitions, the first practice, your body practices, the second practice, and your less but more, the third practice, this is all about managing your energy. So how do you allow yourself to notice where are you putting your energy and how are you gaining or depleting energy? And as you enter situations, how do you reap the most gains from those situations? I'm putting energy into here, but what am I desiring and wanting to get out from there? So I have a deep passion, if you couldn't tell, around energy. And not only the physical energy you think of in terms of rest and movement, but this energy of thought and intention. Your words and your thoughts have power. If you are truly invested in finding this peace of mind, of feeling like you can find calm amidst the storm, you need to create it within yourself. You have to say to yourself, I am an oasis of calm. I am a center of energy, and I have the master controls. And even when things are tough, I can feel the feelings without regret, without shame or fear. You can feel overwhelmed and know that you will find peace. You can feel both scared and certain and knowing that peace is within you. You can feel out of control and still in control. None of these feelings are wrong. The feeling of other people getting upset and you not getting upset is also not wrong. If you're not afraid and other people are, that is also okay. This collective energy right now is completely ramped up with a ton of fear. And fear doesn't have to be your story just because it's someone else's. Likewise, if you're feeling scared and others are feeling good, let yourself feel it without judgment. All these feelings are welcome, but you get to choose which ones stay and guide your decisions. Remember, I was talking about in the beginning about how fear states create a suboptimum decision-making environment, which is why peace of mind is highly critical to you operating and making decisions from your best version of you. So allow yourself to have the practice of training your body and your mind to find peace amidst the chaos, and let that be your energetic home instead of stress and nervousness. Let that be a place you can return to, and it's there for you anytime you need it. So that's it, my friends, for this week. Love you all. Have an amazing one, and I'll catch you next time. So if you like this episode, you need to check out my Intuitive Leadership Coaching Program. It's a 4-month group coaching program, and we're going to talk all the things related to bridging spirituality, meaning purpose, fulfillment. Purpose is your key to finding true success, in terms of success that is aligned with fulfillment. So we're going to bridge that spiritual with the practical, the meaning with the achievement. And we're going to dive into all the different body practices, the mental practices, creating your own specific practices for you, and move you through whatever it is that you want to bring into life. So if you're interested, we're starting in mid-July. We get some bonus one-on-ones, Akashic record readings, a mini virtual retreat that you will love. So sign up today or check out the details. Go to www.mayamson.com/intuitive leadership, or you can check out the show notes. If you want to contact me and reach out and understand what one-on-one coaching looks like and how this can change your life, you have access to all the courses, the events, or anything that I put on while we are coaching. So you can reach out to me there at mayamson.com/contact. So I hope to see you guys soon. Thank you so much again for listening. I love you all. Have an amazing week. Thanks so much for joining us this week on Own Your Best Life. Make sure to subscribe to the show on iTunes or wherever you listen to podcasts so that you'll never miss a show. And while you're at it, can you please rate and review on iTunes? I would so appreciate it. Share it with a friend, take a screenshot of it, and tag @MayEmson. This helps continue to get the word out. For more show notes and resources, check out www.mayemson.com. You'll have all the links to everything you heard here today. Thanks so much for listening. It's time to own your best life.